used to do. You know the one where you had all those black intellectuals on stage every year and everybody watched all day live on C-SPAN? Yeah, I know the one. Let's bring them back. Well, I am pleased to tell you that if you go to KBLA1580.com right now, you can sign up to be in the audience here in Los Angeles when we go back live on C-SPAN with a stage full of black thinkers and influencers for a historic conversation. America has never seen a stage full of black folk talking about the urgency of now. Climate justice, climate equity, climate resilience. It's going down Tuesday, June 18th, 4 to 7 p.m. at the California Science Center in Exposition Park. Admission is free, but you must register at KBLA1580.com. Once we reach capacity, you'll have to watch us on C-SPAN. But if you want to be in the room when we go live from Los Angeles, Tuesday, June 18th, head to KBLA1580.com right now to reserve your seat. Caring about the climate, caring about the community. With KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
I believe I'm safe.
You ready?
It's the Queen of Royal Bad.
It's time for the Rob Report with Robin Ayers.
Highlighting people and things you should know about.
Robin's got you covered. Follow Robin at Robin Ayers. You're listening to the Rob Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
Robin's got a lot to talk about.
I got broads in Atlanta, just to put me in the family. Credit cards in the scammers, getting the licks in the van. Legacy, family, ways you look like a panda. Going out like a Montana, 90 killers on the helmet. Legacy, family, ways you family. Huggy smoke, Danny, selling ball, Johnny. Been on the macho like Randy, the chopper go out to the granny. In the bullet, you bandit, the killers on the family.
You are inside the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580, where we bring you the latest in entertainment news, trending topics, and interviews. I'm your host, Robin Ayers, with you guys Monday through Friday. It is Friday. Happy Friday. Yes. And Andy, DJ A+ over there bringing that Friday vibe to you. Happy birthday to Designer. Wow, yeah, I guess maybe many people did forget about him. But that song right there, that's the one. That was the one. That's the turn-up song. I like music that can, still, when did that come out?
Part of me wants to say like 2015 maybe?
Maybe.
14 around that period. That was the song of the year that year.
That year, okay. Well, it still goes.
100%.
It still goes, yeah. So I like that. Happy birthday to Designer. I thought you were going to come in with some Kendrick Lamar and his new diss song.
Nah, here's the thing.
Are we over it?
No, we're not over it. It's just that, it's Friday.
Positivity?
Not necessarily positivity, but just, something more upbeat, up-tempo, going into the weekend. And, Kendrick Lamar, you really got to open your book up and get your notepad up and study, So, no, not right now.
Okay, well, I like that. I like that reasoning. Well, you know what? As I mentioned, Kendrick Lamar, he just really knew how to do what he did. He set the internet ablaze this morning when he dropped another diss song towards Drake. It's called 616 in LA. And once again, people are doing the whole research and they're studying his bars. That's what you have to do with Kendrick Lamar. He is one of those kinds of lyricists. A true lyricist where it doesn't just sound good. He's really great at that, obviously, but he's just masterful with what he does. Andy?
It's crazy because, I'm obviously having this conversation with all of my friends and everybody's asking me, who do you think is winning? Who do you think had the best song? And there's this tribalism going on. Everybody from the West Coast, we all riding for Kendrick. But it's crazy because initially I was kind of like on Drake's side, right? And I just talked about the simplicity of his disses. It was something that you could digest and understand. With Kendrick Lamar, if you're not really tapped into their beef and you know who's who and what's going on, a lot of what he's saying is gonna skip over your head.
Absolutely.
And the fact that like I have to boggle down and actually study and follow these videos of people breaking it down, there's a slight bit where I feel like Kendrick is losing in that regard. You know what I'm saying? Because, but once again, once you get to study and you see the complex, the quintuple entendres, you're just like, oh my freaking God, Kendrick Lamar is on another level. But at the same time, sometimes you just want stuff very simple. You know, it's crazy.
Maybe. And maybe a lot of people feel like you, but Andy, I have to give you your credit when you talked about, we've been talking about this whole hip-hop, not beef, I'm not going to say beef, but battles for a little bit ever since this actually started. And to your point, Andy, you were talking about how more than it being not safe, that it's really just a matter of iron sharpening iron, and that it becomes a competition and it makes you step your game up, and that's really what people want to see. So in this situation, I don't think this particular thing is going to get dangerous, but I do feel this particular one, I don't feel like it get dangerous, but I will say it has made everyone tap into Kendrick Lamar even more so, because he has raised the bar when it comes to his diss songs.
And considering how mumble rap has taken over the genre, Kendrick is bringing it right back to the essence, to lyricism, and it's a beautiful thing. Yeah.
So we'll see what happens from here. Raven Simone, she's saying, listen, she's talking to people, fans of hers actually, and she's saying, stop sending my wife death threats. Stop sending my wife negative messages. And this is all because of an interview that went viral. As you know, they have their podcast, and Raven Simone and her wife Miranda, they were in a interview where Raven Simone and the other young lady started singing there was one song from the Cheetah Girls, which Raven was a part of. She was just a huge star back then, and her wife Miranda did not know the song, and she was like, I don't even know what you guys are talking about, and her fans took that as saying she didn't know who Raven was, and they were just like, how could you not know who Raven Simone was? And I think it got a little bit misconstrued, but nonetheless, they're taking it really far. They're threatening her wife. I mean, that's just ridiculous, just because they're trying to protect Raven. But she's saying, stop that. That's not, I mean, thank you, but don't do that. That's my wife. I love her, and I got her back, right? So, that's that on that. I hope it gets better. I'm sure it will, because all of this stuff, all the entertainment stuff, literally, it's here now, and it might be really hype right now, but all of it loses its fuel sooner or later. It's going to be something like old news pretty soon, because something else is going to come up. SZA, this is interesting. The singer-songwriter SZA, speaking of Kendrick Lamar, who she was, that's part of his camp. SZA, she says she's only considered an R&B artist because she's black. I think that's interesting. She's basically, I believe where she's going with this is the type of music that she puts out. If she weren't a black woman, it would probably even be considered pop or some other genre. You're not in agreement with that, Andy?
I agree with her, but like, why is that a thing?
So don't even speak up on it?
It's, what I'm noticing about this generation of music artists, they don't want to be held down. So, they don't want to be labeled. They want to be considered an artist, and I get it and I respect it, but she does have a point, but You're successful. You're good. Why are you tripping?
Yes, but I think actually that is what Beyonce's point is. I think the reason that Beyonce, not only is she going over into, country, and we're hearing that allegedly she's going to make a rock album, but I think the reason she's even trying to push those boundaries is so that you don't label her, that you don't put her in because Beyonce for a very long time would have been considered R&B. I mean, she definitely moved over into that pop genre, but I think all of these artists are like, I just want to be free to make music and be accepted. If I'm good at it, let me in. And so maybe, to SZA's point, if you're considered and just labeled R&B, maybe that sort of limits you, boxes you in.
I guess. I mean, like, so do we refer to Beyonce as a country artist now?
Just an artist.
Just an artist.
Yeah.
And that's what SZA wants.
I believe so. I could be wrong. So it's May 3rd, and Kanye West fans are upset. I don't know. I was not anticipating this album, but I guess it was I do know that Vultures 2 was a very highly anticipated album, and he didn't drop it, and so fans are disappointed. Andy, I know you like Kanye, but I don't know if you were even really checking for this album, or...
I wasn't checking for it.
Okay, well, enough said. I have a question for you guys over in our YouTube chat before we get started with the show. If you ordered Uber Eats, say you live in an apartment building and you ordered Uber Eats and you said, deliver it to my door, but they dropped it off downstairs, are you still tipping? If they don't follow your delivery instructions, are you tipping? Right now, 75% of you guys say no, that you're not tipping. Andy, you tipping?
Let me tell you something. I used to work security, front desk, concierge.
Okay.
So I had to deal with Uber Eats drivers dropping it off. Let me tell you something. These cats are lazy as hell.
Okay.
Because I would even tell them.
Take it upstairs.
Take it upstairs.
Yeah.
They're just one level, maybe two levels up.
Yeah.
Now, to their credit, sometimes they were concerned about parking. I used to work in downtown, so parking is,
Yeah.
But I was just like, yo, just take it upstairs. Mm-hmm. And what's funny is some of those individuals who ordered the food didn't even come down to grab their food. So after 3 hours, you know what? That was my lunch and that was my dinner. But man, these cats be lazy. These cats be lazy. If y'all really want to eat, you already dropping $50.
Yeah.
For a Happy Meal?
Okay.
Man, you gotta bring yourself downstairs and grab your food.
Okay, but to the question, are you paying? If they don't now that you have that background information, you're not tipping. You're not tipping. You've already paid, but you're not tipping.
I'm already not a big fan of tipping anyway, so.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well.
I just don't believe in that.
Okay, you will do great overseas, because overseas, a lot of other countries
don't. They need to tip us on a super chat. What's cracking? We providing a good service.
Oh, he's calling y'all out.
I'm just
YouTube.
saying.
Let's go ahead and get into the Raw Report.
Now it's time for a breakdown.
Okay, so today we are talking about friends with your children. Can you be friends with your kids, or can you be friendly? Is there a world in which both can exist? Well, Common's mom, Common, the rapper and actor, his mom says he didn't even take a drink in front of her until he was 35 years old. Very interesting. She says we're not friends. I want to talk about that a little bit. Also, Apryl Jones, who is now, she was a reality star, aspiring singer, and now actress, beautiful woman. She's slamming these modern men. I'll tell you what she called y'all. Not y'all on the Raw, not the Raw squad. She ain't talking about you guys. You guys are upstanding individuals and citizens. But I'll tell you what she's saying about these modern men, and we'll have a discussion, because I want to know, to her point, definitely not being derogatory, but to her point, is the society that we live in right now things too accessible and making everyone lazy, making everyone a little bit more soft? Let's go down that lane. We'll interrogate that a little bit further on the other side with our wonderful contributor who we've got on the line. You guys open up. I'm leaving that poll open a little bit, so go ahead and vote if you are on YouTube listening to us. You are listening to the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Stay there.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on? It's your girl Takara Williams here with Robin Ayers on the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580. If you ain't here, baby. Here we go.
You're inside the Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
It's the farewell tour. Maze featuring Frankie Beverly and KBLA wants to send you and the special mom in your life. Sunday, May 12th at the Kia Forum.
Make sure I'm right, girl, before I let go.
Also featuring soul icon Anthony Hamilton.
Amazing.
And After 7. It's a Mother's Day celebration you won't forget. Listen in for your chance to win tickets. And don't forget to wear white. It's the farewell tour with Maze featuring Frankie Beverly.
Girl, I have a secret. When I get stressed out, I get sweaty. That's why I use Secret Clinical Antiperspirant. It's like my own secret weapon. For 72 hours, I get Secret's strongest protection against sweat caused by stress, heat, and activity, because you know how crazy life can get. Plus, it's made with advanced odor fighters that don't just cover up smelliness. They help prevent it from happening in the first place. Believe me, if I weren't wearing Secret, I'd be a hot, smelling mess. Thankfully, Secret works.
Free. Who doesn't love free? With Milo's Rewards, you get the member-only treatment that's actually worth it. Enjoy free member gifts you'll love. And once you reach Silver Key status, you can get free standard shipping. Because Lowe's knows nothing feels better than free. Learn more about our new loyalty program at Lowe's.com/Milo's Rewards today. Program subject to terms and conditions. See Lowe's.com/terms for details. Member gifts may be subject to additional terms and restrictions. See Lowe's.com/shipping terms for details. Subject to change.
Linking social justice and climate justice all year long.
We're unapologetically progressive.
KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment. LA's 99 neighborhood councils form the grassroots level of the Los Angeles city government. The system was created to connect LA's diverse communities to City Hall. While neighborhood council board members are volunteers, they are also public officials elected to office by the members of their community. Neighborhood councils advocate on issues like homelessness, housing, land use, emergency preparedness, public safety, parks, transportation, and sustainability. They also provide local expertise on the delivery of city services to their various communities. Neighborhood councils are open to participation by anyone who is a part of the fabric of daily life in said community. This includes those who live, work, or own property or a business. If you are interested in stepping up to join your local neighborhood council, visit www.empowerla.org. That's empowerla.org. It's time to think globally, but act locally. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Giving you your daily dose of entertainment and celebrity news.
You're inside the Rob Report
with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
Okay, and we are on the line. I'm so excited to speak with Niara J. How are you today, Niara?
Hi, Robin. I'm good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Oh, of course. I appreciate you calling in. It's good to have you back on the show. And let me know. This is actually a whole other conversation that Andy just introduced to me. And I'm like, you know what? We should really – there's actually a woman who, when I first came on to KBLA 1580, I had her – she was an etiquette coach. And she's great. She was Elaine Swan is her name. She's wonderful. And we were talking about tipping and all of that. And so do you believe in tipping? But first, actually, Niara, I want to ask you specifically, if your Uber driver didn't deliver the way that you put in the instructions, are you tipping?
No, I definitely wouldn't tip because it's like you didn't follow directions if I specifically asked you to do something and you deliberately didn't do it. So I wouldn't tip. Me being myself, knowing me, I probably would, but I wouldn't give them as big as a tip as I probably would have. So you kind of like lost out on a bigger tip just because I understand how important tipping is. I know I have friends who have been waiters. I know waiters, and I know a lot of their income comes from tipping. So I understand that part of things.
Absolutely. Well, I hear that, and there's a deeper conversation that I'll bring up at another time. But yeah, that was one of my first jobs as a server, and I used to almost 90% of my livelihood was from tips, and so we definitely appreciate it. But yeah, people do a lot of hard work, and so the tipping, tips are definitely appreciated. So I want to go ahead and jump into this conversation about parents and friends. Now, Common's mom, the rapper and actor Common, his mother, Dr. Hines, she's a beautiful woman. She was recently on Jennifer Hudson's show. I think they're still together, Common and Jennifer Hudson. But anyway, she was a guest on her show, and she wanted to talk about the fact that her son, Common, who's a grown man, he didn't even take his first drink in front of his mom because she says they're not friends. She said you could be friendly, but not friends. Andy, let's go ahead and play this clip.
Let's talk about one of your favorite chapters, parenting and friendship.
You are not your child's friend. Mm-hmm. You are their parent.
Yes, ma'am.
And your job is not to be liked, it's to be right. One of the things I say, if you give up that authority, you're going to lose respect.
Wow.
Because they will begin talking to you and acting like you. And when you try to check them, it doesn't work. My son did not drink around me until he was almost 35. And that was at a dinner. The reason being, we aren't friends. Right. I'm going to sit around and drink with you. And you 20, 19, 21, let's say even 30. We're not friends.
Wow.
We can be friendly, but we're not friends.
We can be friendly?
All right, here's the deal. She sounds very old school. I respect this woman to no ends, right? But that sounds like an old school way of thinking. Niara, give me your thoughts and maybe even your own experience, how you grew up. Do you believe in that both can exist? You can respect your parents as parents and still be friends with them as an adult? What are your thoughts?
I actually agree with you. I think that is definitely a old school way of thinking. There's obviously a difference in generations. I am not a parent, so I guess it's depending on perspective. However, I am very close with my mom. I do think that what she's talking about, you can be friendly with your child, but not their friend. I do think that can apply to maybe a younger child, but as far as adults, I do think that you can be friends with your parents. Like I mentioned before, I am very close with my mom, and we have a great relationship. And I think when you set boundaries from youth, I think that depending on how you parent and depending on your parent style, your child can grow up to maintain those boundaries and be respectful of those boundaries. So I actually don't, from my perspective and just me being very close to my mom, I actually don't necessarily agree with her 100%.
There's several things that you've said that I totally agree with that I want to touch on. Terry Tari in YouTube says, my grandma was my best friend. My dad was never my friend. My mom was a great mom. I think when I think about what she says, this woman, Dr. Hines, when I think about her saying you can't be we're not friends, you can't be friends with your children, I think about those parents, like you mentioned, Niara, the parents who they let their little toddler run crazy and they don't discipline them and they try to bribe them. They're like, if you just we had a funny experience on a recent flight where we're listening to the father of a toddler child he's trying to get his kid to stop crying. Number one, he's like, we gotta get to another flight. And he's like, come on, buddy, you can do it, buddy. Just talking to his kid, and I was like, we're all sitting there like, you have got to be kidding me, because it ain't no way. I mean, it really ain't no way. I think that as me being a parent, I think most of your work, a lot of your work, is done at that early stage where you set the foundation, you set the standards with your children as to what the lines are that you can't cross, and establishing I am the parent, you are the child. But we also try to blend a little bit of that friendship. Maybe it goes from friendly to friendship. So maybe there are different levels to it, but we definitely offered them a safe place of friendliness or friendship as they were growing up, because at the same time, my husband and I, we wanted our kids to be able to really have good conversation with us, really be open with us and tell us what's going on, what's happening, and not be afraid to come and talk to us. I believe that if you establish that whole I'm your mom, type of I'm not your friend, I'm not your little friend. I think if you establish that and there's no room for them to be a friend and confide in you almost like a friend, then they completely do the separation as well, and they'll never talk to you as a friend. Let's go ahead and get to Fahima. Let's take this call before a break.
Greetings,
Hi,
Robin.
Greetings to
and
you.
greetings to the Ross Squad. So, I said the same thing in a space today. There is no one unique black experience. Black people have all had different experiences, and those experiences have shaped us. And I have a theory. If you grew up in a household where there was corporal punishment, you're either going to continue in that tradition or you're not going to spank your kids. And so everyone do things in terms of what they think is appropriate. There is no correct way. There is no wrong way. I mean, of course, if you're breaking the law. And so there is no generalization. No one can say, oh, well, this is how it should be done. Oh, this is how it shouldn't be done. Because the way people parent are a direct result of how they themselves were parented. Last point, and I share this with my students. Barack Obama met his biological father twice in his entire life, right? And as far as we know, he's the poster child for Father of the Year. And I surmise that's because he didn't want his children to feel the void that he felt as a father. So he's being the best father that he can possibly be. And so people's experience shape how they're parent. They're either going to replicate it or they're going to reject it. And there's no one unique black experience, and what we do is shaped by what we have experienced.
Mhm. I hear that. Well said. Thank you so much for that input, Fahima. Thank you. I do agree with that. I still want to touch on it a little bit more on the other side, Niara, if you can hold with us. Right now, we're going to go to some news, traffic, and sports. You're listening to the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl, BB, and you're listening to me on the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of the Raw Report with Robin Ayers when we come forward.
Tyreek Wynn, here's the latest on the Black Information Network. Over 16,000 pounds of ground beef is being recalled due to possible E. coli contamination. On Wednesday, the USDA announced the recalled beef was shipped to Walmart stores nationwide. Defective beef is from the company Cargill Meat Solutions, and Pacific Recall products can be found online. The state of Maryland has awarded a wrongly convicted black man $3 million for the 31 years he spent in prison before being exonerated. 63-year-old Gary Washington was released from prison in 2018. The city state's attorney's office dismissed the charges against him in 2019, and a circuit court judge later vacated Washington's convictions. The black police chief in Tulsa, Oklahoma is stepping down. Police Chief Wendell Franklin has announced he will retire from the department effective July 31st. He's taking a job in the private sector as a director and corporate security. He says it's the perfect fit for him. That's the latest. I'm Tyreek Wynn on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
An accident is in the center divide currently of Mid-Cities 10 East before Vermont Avenue. It's a 35-minute traffic jam from Centinela Avenue. Over in Carson, left lane is blocked with an accident on the 405 North before the wind hang. Watch for a slight heavy delay forming from Avalon Boulevard. Expect heavy traffic delays through Redondo Beach due to the Flag Festival, which started today and will continue until Sunday night at 9:30. This is closing off Harvard Drive in both directions between West Barrel Street, Portofino Way Interchange, and Horondo Street. Also, the LA County Fair has kicked off today at the Pomona Fairgrounds, now through Monday, Memorial Day, May 27th. Now, these are only occurring Thursday to Sunday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., so you can expect some additional traffic throughout the day, each day the fair is open.
Mattress Firm's Memorial Day sale is here. Save up to $700 on select mattresses from top brands. Shop a wide selection of quality beds at every price. Plus, get a free adjustable base with qualifying purchase at Mattress Firm's Memorial Day sale.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Lakers didn't wait long to make a decision on Darvin Ham. 4 days after getting swept by the Denver Nuggets in the playoffs 2 straight years, the Lakers management fired Ham Friday morning. It didn't matter that Ham has 2 years remaining on his contract. This move is not a surprise. There have been rumblings for several weeks that some players had lost confidence in Ham, and some of his coaching decisions were becoming an issue. On Thursday, several sources claimed the Lakers were already looking for a new coach, and one of the persons on their short list is Clippers coach Ty Lue. If the Clippers are eliminated tonight in Dallas, conversations with Lue could start pretty quick. Lue has a good relationship with LeBron from their time in Cleveland together. During LeBron's second run with the Cavs, Lue was an assistant for 2 years and head coach for 3. Stay tuned. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute And I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hi, it's Tavis Smiley. First, thank you for your support of KBLA Talk 1580. We deeply appreciate you. So, I get asked all the time, Tavis, when are you going to bring back that State of the Black Union symposium you used to do? You know the one where you had all those black intellectuals on stage every year and everybody watched all day live on C-SPAN? Yeah, I know the one. Let's bring them back. Well, I am pleased to tell you that if you go to KBLA1580.com right now, you can sign up to be in the audience here in Los Angeles when we go back live on C-SPAN with a stage full of black thinkers and influencers for a historic conversation. America has never seen a stage full of black folk talking about the urgency of now. Climate justice, climate equity, climate resilience. It's going down Tuesday, June 18th, 4 to 7 p.m. at the California Science Center in Exposition Park. Admission is free, but you must register at KBLA1580.com. Once we reach capacity, you'll have to watch us on C-SPAN. But if you want to be in the room when we go live from Los Angeles, Tuesday, June 18th, head to KBLA1580.com right now to reserve your seat. Caring about the climate, caring about the community. With KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your blast.
We ask seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well-trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement. Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is a thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay.
When we learn the power of hope, recovery is possible. Find out how at startwithhope.com. Brought to you by the National Council for Mental Wellbeing, Shatterproof, and the Ad Council.
Keeping you informed about what's really going on and what not to miss in entertainment. You're listening to the Rob Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
You are inside the Rob Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Woo! Yeah! Happy birthday to James Brown. Woo! Wow. Forever James Brown music. Forever, okay? Just so we're clear. Woo! That makes me want to, step or something. You know what I mean? I love it. I love it. I love it. If you're just joining us, well, welcome on up in here. I wanted to make mention to you guys, again, we talked about this recently as we had a special guest who called in. She was Erica Bond, if you remember, from the All Love Racket Club. And they're having their event today. We were talking on that conversation about this event that's happening today. It's May 3rd. It started at 5 p.m., but if you're in L.A. and you still want to make it out, it's going till 8 p.m. Wow, yeah. They're out there at the Montrose at Beverly Hills rooftop. So it's a vibe, you guys. It's a vibe. So if you definitely want to go out there, you can find more information, All Love Racket Club. They're on Instagram. You can find them. Okay, so or you can go to all-loveclub.com and find out some more information. So go out there and check it out. We're on the phone with Niara J, and we're having this good conversation about parenting. What can you? And then Fahima called in. She had a great point about. Listen, we're not a monolith. Black people, we're not a monolith in how we raise our families and how we were raised. Everybody has a different experience, and I can appreciate that. I can respect that for sure. Lavelle over here in our YouTube chat, he's basically saying, nah. You don't talk to your mom about everything. He says, my mother will always be my mom. We are very close, but I believe in traditional ways. No cursing in front of, no sexual talk. That's my mother. So basically your friends have a place. You said you're close with your mom, but I don't know how close, and I'm not going to get all up in your business, but do you still sort of abide by certain traditional ways of like, okay, I don't curse, I don't, there's certain things that I won't say in front of my mom?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always very respectful, but as I said, I think it definitely depends on the person. It depends on the parenting style. And I also think it also depends on kind of like how your parents were brought up as well. So I do, to answer your question, I am still very respectful, but we are very close. So I do talk to my mom about pretty much literally everything. But, like she's made it comfortable for that. As growing up, she was stern and strict when it came to a lot of things, and she set boundaries. But as I became an adult, we have cultivated such a great relationship. And I think it's a beautiful thing to be close with your parents and just be able to talk to them about pretty much everything.
I agree with you. I don't think that just because I don't think that you cursing to your parents or you having sexual conversations with your parents is an indication of how close you are or not close to them. I think that you can be just as close without mentioning things like that. Like, I don't necessarily curse in front of my mom, nor do I really curse in front of, first of all, let's just make it clear, I'm not a sailor, all right? I'm not a sailor mouth, but, if I should go there a time or two, she's not, it's not in a disrespectful manner. I'm not a sailor mouth around my mom, but, a time or two, if I'm telling a story and it causes for that, she understands I'm grown at the same time, but we definitely have a respect for one another. But I think that, as you mentioned, that's probably something that happens as you become an adult. I find it, I'm not judging it, but the fact that Common wasn't even, I don't know if comfortable wasn't the word. I don't know if that's the word, but he respected his mom enough not to drink in front of her until 35. I think that might push it a little bit. My daughter specifically, they want to take a drink, probably going to have their first drink with me. I'm going to be honest with you. Just because you're going to be out there doing it anyway, I'm going to need you to see what's up before you.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. I think that when parents are way too strict on their children, like you mentioned, they're going to do it anyway. So would you rather them have this experience with you and kind of be free and be comfortable, or would you have them do it with somebody else and possibly get in trouble or, not be able to really be themselves? So I think that children, they go out and they do it anyway. So you might as well just try to, help them navigate as they learn, as they experience these types of things. So I definitely agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, and I think it would be different if I'm having drinks with my underage children. I certainly wouldn't do that, right? I'm definitely waiting till you're of age and, we'll set the proper foundation and all of that stuff. But, I don't think that there's anything wrong with it. Andy?
That's why PKs be wilding out.
PKs do be wilding out. Preachers' kids be wilding out. Well, I mean, majority of them that I've heard about have said that. They've all been like, my parents were very strict and they didn't, they had a tight grip on us. So when I got even underage PKs, underage especially, they're like, no, I need freedom. I want to be able to do things. So, yeah, I mean, Andy made a good point. Yeah.
It is It is definitely that. It is definitely that freedom. Once it's like kind of like, you're so locked down, you weren't allowed to do anything, and when you finally get the freedom, you go buck wild.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that thing. It's like from one extreme to another extreme.
Yep.
So I think, slowly cultivating that relationship, slowly allowing a little bit of freedom here and there, and I think that also helps build the relationship as well. Is you putting as a parent, putting your trust in that child, and that builds trust,
Yep.
So
I agree with you. Yeah, we're on the same page. I think me and you, Niara, we rocking together.
Yes.
On our poll, you guys have it is a slight edge. Can you be friends with your children? 55% of you say friendly, not friends. And 45% of you say, I can be friends and a parent, and that's where I am. I can be my children after they're 17 years old, but they know what's up, okay? They know who their parents are. They understand that they are not crossing any lines, but they also know that we can laugh, we can talk about anything, and it's open for them. So that's where I am. Well, it's now 42% of y'all. Somebody else just betrayed me, and I'm just playing. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I hear you guys. I respect it. Let's go ahead and move on. Andy, did you want to jump in?
Nah, just, it's a spectrum, right?
Yeah.
Friendly, friends. You're friends with your kid. You just have your boundaries, right?
Yeah. Come on. Yeah. If there are no boundaries, then and you're totally friends, that is the complete opposite end of the spectrum, and I don't want any parts of that. I mean, that's what we see up in the grocery store when, the little kid is over there throwing tantrums and the parent is trying to bargain with him. I'll buy you some chips. No. You gonna get up off the floor and
yep.
You know what I'm saying? Snatching you up off the floor. Okay. Let's move on and get to this Apryl Jones conversation. Now, Apryl Jones, she is slamming the men. Her and a friend, they went live and they were talking about modern men. Now, you should know Apryl Jones most recently was known to be dating actor Taye Diggs. They were all over social media together, confessing their love for one another, and but I don't know, things happen. Things happen, and now she's on live, and she's saying this on live. Let's take a listen.
Y'all men these days are shit. Y'all be wanting all the things, but don't get it. Like, y'all don't even change a tire. Like, sir, my tire. Oh, let's go get the cars. Your car. Like, I cannot bring 650 to the I'm not doing it. No. Like, I'm not doing it. Y'all want us in our feminine energy, then give us masculine energy. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like I'm sitting in masculine all the time to where I don't even know how to give you my feminine, and you want that, and it's like, but how can I give that, and you're not even deserving of that? That is so weird to me. Like, sir, like, grow up. Is you throwing hands? Is you not? Like, is you having real masculine conversations, or are you not? Like, this is crazy. We are not living this. I don't know what this is. Yeah. I don't. Because I just feel like we want more from men. It's like, y'all be wanting us to do all the things, but we do all the things. We cook, we clean, and then you still want us to show up and make you feel like good. No, we the big. You make us feel like we that. Okay. I'm not doing that. That's too much.
All right. Well, y'all heard her. Niara, now you know what's up in this generation. Now, I don't know if you're dating, if you have a man. I don't know any of that, but from what you gauge in this era, right? Do you feel like what she's saying? I mean, obviously she's slamming these men pretty hard, but does she have a point in what she's saying as far as men these days are asking for women to be so feminine, but they're not showing up in their masculinity? Now, she is saying you're not changing tires, those types of things. I feel like we've had this conversation before. Once you get to a place of, you know what, my time is valuable, I'll pay somebody to come and change my tire for me. I don't have to get down there and start changing the tire. That should be okay. What is your take on this?
I feel like this conversation is literally all. It's been a relevant conversation for a long time. I think there are there's this term called sassy men. It was like this clip that's going viral. That's like the sassy apocalypse. But I do think there are sassy men. However, I don't think all men are sassy. I think that some women definitely have to self-reflect and kind of understand why are you attracting these type of men. Is it past trauma? Is it, I don't know, do you like these type of men? So I definitely think, I definitely agree with her, but then I don't. So I'm kind of in the middle when it comes to these conversations about sassy men and non-sassy men and masculinity and women wanting to rest in their femininity and that topic.
I hear that. Part of the problem with Apryl going in the way that she's going in, this is one of the issues that I have with public relationships just in general. Say, hypothetically, it does not work out, which seemingly they have not worked out, but hypothetically it doesn't work out. And now anytime you say anything, people are going to they're going to assume that you were talking about your ex-partner, right? So even in the YouTube chat, Pretty Brown Mimi says, is Apryl saying that Taye Diggs is feminine or not masculine enough? You see what I'm saying? Like, people are automatically going to say that he isn't, and these words that she's saying is pertaining to him. I don't know. I've been married for almost 19 years, and I'm grateful for that. I'm not in this dating world. I do not want to be in this dating world, but I see a lot of what's happening and the shift that's happening, in my opinion, I think has more to do with the women than it does the men. Not to say men haven't changed or whatever, but I'm looking at the women, and the women are truly, they're conjuring up their masculinity. And and I wonder, and I'm like, you're slow down, sis. You're doing too much. Why are you putting forth so much energy? And the men don't like it, right? But I'm wondering why they have to step into the masculinity. Why? What is it about a man or these men that you see a lack of that makes you feel like you have to step up? And so maybe this is where she's coming from. Again, I'm not dating. I'm not in that world, so I'm just not sure. But I guess the lasting question that I have for you is, since the beginning of time, I understand things change, they develop, they evolve over time, and maybe that's the way it's supposed to be. But do you feel like we're ever going to get back to a place of balance? I don't even know if we've ever had balance between men and women, but if we did, do you feel like we'll ever get back there?
I think I agree with your last comment. I don't think there were ever any type of balance. Like, I believe it was kind of one extreme to another extreme. So, like, in the earlier days, you had the women more so staying home and cooking and cleaning, and I guess you could say the traditional wife or whatever. And then now you have the women stepping up, and they're kind of, like you mentioned, taking on this load. So I don't think, I agree with you. I don't think there were ever any type of balance. I don't think there were ever any type of balance.
Sadly. Andy?
I'm going to try to put a positive spin to it, and I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, there was no balance in the past, but I think having conversations like this will eventually create that balance, right? I think when you look back in the day with the whole traditional aspects of things, women being in the house cooking and cleaning is because they had to. You know what I'm saying? They couldn't work or anything like that. So, yeah, it was kind of the responsibility of the man to do all these things, right? Fast forward to the crack epidemic. You see a lot of our black men either dead in jail, so they're gone. So the women
had to step
up, and they had to play mommy and daddy. You know what I'm saying? So they had to go ahead and embrace the whole masculine role, whatnot, even though they didn't know what it was that they were doing, right? In turn, I think this is why you have a generation of kids who are, maybe a little bit more feminine in how they, in their mannerisms, because the father wasn't around, uncles weren't around, you know what I'm saying? Because the whole crack epidemic and jail, this, that, and the third. So fast forward to now, those kids who didn't grow up with their father, they're adults now. Now they're having kids, so they're trying to fix what, the previous generation, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be more of the father now, whatnot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but also, with that being said, I think the man is trying to gain their power back, if that makes sense, right? So we're battling also now with a generation of women who are the breadwinners now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
definitely educated,
you feel
making
me?
6-figure plus careers. Yeah.
So we're dealing with a new woman now, and I just think the philosophies and the perspective obviously have changed now because women don't have to depend on a man. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy.
It's heavy. Niara, you get the last word.
I definitely agree with everything Andy said. It's kind of like a systemic thing that was put into place as to why we're here now, why we're having this conversation now. But really quickly, I just wanted to know for you both, what does balance look like to you both?
I don't even have the answer. I don't have the answer. We actually got to pick this conversation back up another time. I'm so sorry because we have got to go. But I don't know that balance really exists. I agree. Somebody said this over in our YouTube chat. I don't know what balance Critic Chronicles says it. I don't think it exists. But that's my answer. Niara J, thank you so much for joining us. Let everybody know quickly where they can find you online.
Thank you so much. You all can find me on Instagram at Niara, that's NIARA._. Thank you so much for having me.
Happy Friday. Enjoy your evening and your weekend. Thank you so much, and we'll talk next time.
Thank you.
Well, when we come forward, I'm going to read some of these comments and see what y'all talking about. I don't know if we'll have time to get to a Who's Got Next, but we'll have more conversation on the other side. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, I'm Damian Young. I'm chilling with Robin on the Robin Report.
You're inside the Robin Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
It's the farewell tour. Maze featuring Frankie Beverly and KBLA wants to send you and the special mom in your life. Sunday, May 12th at the Kia Forum.
Before I let go.
Also featuring soul icon Anthony Hamilton.
Amazing.
And After 7.
I'll give you everything.
It's a Mother's Day celebration you won't forget. Listen in for your chance to win tickets. And don't forget to wear white. It's the farewell tour with Maze featuring Frankie Beverly.
City of Los Angeles tenants and landlords participating in the Emergency Renters Assistance Program, beware of scammers. Notifications about your application will only come from the City of LA in emails ending in lacity.org. Protect yourself. Contact the LA Housing Department by email at lahd.erap@lacity.org or call 866-557-7368 to check communications you receive about the program. You can also verify your application status at housing.lacity.org. That's housing.lacity.org.
May is National Foster Care Month. You can help a child in need of a loving, safe, and nurturing home by becoming a foster parent, providing the support children need to be successful in life. Black children are disproportionately represented in foster care. When placed with families in their community, they have better outcomes to thrive. FosterLAKids.org or 888-811-1121. Again, 888-811-1121. Call today. Are you tired of being stuck without internet access? Connect and go with LA County Library. It's simple. Visit your local LA County Library location and borrow a hotspot for free to get Wi-Fi wherever you are.
Giving you your daily dose of entertainment and celebrity news. You're inside the Robin Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
Now, Andy and I were just having a conversation, and I think I have my answer. Maybe not the answer, but I have my answer to Niara J's question, which was, what do we think balance is? What is balance? And then initially I said, I don't think it exists. But as I was talking to Andy, we were just talking about why relationships are the way that they are and why women feel the need to be, step into that masculine energy and how it's been. And I was explaining how I watched my mom as an independent woman. She was not mouthy or anything like she didn't assert herself as a masculine woman, but she was definitely independent. So that's how I grew up because I watched her. So when I entered my relationship, I was also an independent woman. Like, I wasn't necessarily mouthy, but I had opinions about things. I wanted to be heard on things and things like that. But at some point in the relationship, as I mentioned before, it's been almost 19 years. So in that relationship, I had to realize my man is the man, right? He is the man, and which is why I married him. I respect him. I respect his leadership. He's very intelligent, all of those things. So I had to treat him as such and learn to sort of balance that out. I had to learn to do the inner work myself. I had to learn how to that everything doesn't need to be a pushback and recalibrate myself, but in turn he did those things as well. He's also understanding. You don't, as a man, if you are masculine and you are a leader and you guide and everything, you don't need to say those things. You just be it. And I think it's a combination of both people working on themselves. So maybe that is in fact what balance is, in my opinion. But who am I, right? I'm Robin Ayers of the Raw Report Show. I definitely appreciate all of you guys for tuning in and just checking us out this week. The engagement has been so good. You guys, the comments are fantastic. Some of them they got us rolling. We can't lie about that. We've been talking about y'all in a good way behind your back, in a very good way. We like the comments. So thank you so very, very much. Next week, we right back at it, Andy. Next week, Monday. I appreciate NRJ for tuning in, all of you. I hope that you have a beautiful, blessed weekend. And wake up in a good mood, because Monday we're going to do it all over again. All right, you guys, my name is Robin Ayers. And remember, today and every single day forward, be a blessing.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.